evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave WW7ATS. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with mass-scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater. It spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage where you can find some information about our club, frequencies we operate on, and also a link that we stream our nets on YouTube on Saturdays and Wednesdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for the use of WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our voice transmissions for our video nets held this evening for Western Washington Amateur Television Society. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact with someone before our net gets fully underway here on the 08 machine. Again, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. WU7N. And again, heard WU7N sign in. We have that noted. And those that have checked in already on a video link for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society is Ron, KD7QKU, Bert, N7CS, Richard, K7ITX, Wade, W7ITL, Jim, N7QO, James, WU7N, and myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is anybody else that would like to check in? I think I missed Bob, K9PQ. So, let's get underway. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU. So I'm using this extension cable. Do I sound okay? Thumbs up from Jim and Bert. Looked like it was okay. Alright, I was just looking at a sound bar for my TV set. I have some speakers I added to it, but they're not so good. Joanne's watching a movie out there. She has it turned up so loud I can hear it in here. The quality of sound is just terrible, so I think I just bought a sound bar. Not sure. I have to check it in a minute. So the other thing I did after we had the meeting this morning is I put the lights, some Christmas lights up on the inside of the windows around the outside edge. I had purchased some tape. I saw this tape advertised on TV, but I don't like to buy things like that, so I went to Amazon. I like to buy through Amazon. And they had the same tape, and I bought a roll, and it's sticky on both sides, and it's clear, and it said it sticks to glass and metal and all kind of stuff. Waterproof. It's almost an eighth of an inch thick. It's thick tape, and like I say, it's kind of gummy. It only taken about a quarter inch of the piece of tape's about an inch wide. I cut about a quarter inch strip and stuck it to the wire and stuck the wire to the edge of the frame around the window, and lo and behold, it worked great. It said it would hold 17 pounds. I don't know how big a piece you'd need for 17 pounds, but this little piece held my lights, so put them all around the windows and put them on timers, and so I'm all set for Christmas. So back to that, KD7QKU. good evening, everyone. Let's see, what do we got going on? Bought a couple things on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. One of the things I got was one of these unlimited movie pass things for a year. So I'm able to now go to the movie theater as many times as I want for the next year, unlimited essentially. So I did my first movie today. I went to go see the new DC movie Black Adam. Well, I guess it's not new. It came out like a month ago or something. But I don't know. As long as I watch like 2 movies a month at least, I'm beating the system. So I just have to make sure that I do that. And then the other thing I bought was I bought a computer. Came in this little box here. So this is like a full 16 gig RAM, 512 gig SSD drive, and I have it set up over here. So it's all connected. I can't really bring it, but that's the size of it. It basically fits in the palm of your hand. But it's only got a Celeron processor in it, so it's not like super powerful, but plenty enough to run Windows at a decent speed. But anyway, that's probably good for now. This is Bert in Marysville in 7CS. Back to that.
7CS, let's go to Bothell Bob, K9PQ.
Good evening to everybody, and I see I'm up on YouTube already. That's great, not much of a delay there. And as you can see in the background, I'll get out of the way here, that's a picture that I took when James and I were up there putting the container in place. And as you can see, it's right out in the middle of the room. Eventually I'd like to get it off to a side or a corner or something like that, over closer to the filing cabinets that we have against the wall. But it's there now and ready to be used. It already has, you can see the top of the filing cabinets are clear. They were piled pretty high with some rack mount equipment that would not fit inside, and just some extra boxes of things. So those are all in the container now. I guess that's good for starters. I'll send it back. K9PQ.
PQ, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Well, see, you just caught me synchronizing my grand stream with my computer date and time. So we got that out of the way. And then let's see, I see Bob right there, so I'll switch it over to number 2, which is K7ITX. And Bob, yeah, no, your picture looks great. The camera, whatever it is, man, it looks fantastic. My grand stream, Bob's camera looks fantastic, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so I'll remove him from the show, and oh god, here I am. I'm not even playing video. What are you kidding me? Sheesh. Alright, well, that's okay. I mean, I have a lot of video, a lot of stuff behind me, including a destroyed house. That was pretty cool last time. And what was the other thing I had? The 3 snowmen, which, how appropriate. Oh, you're probably going to accuse my snowmen of causing the storm, too, I bet. So, so I'm going to turn it back to net control, but before I do that, I'm just going to say that I got the final, I know why they had that vintage airplane crash in Dallas now. I kind of thought I knew a little bit, but there's a perfect explanation. I think it's the FAA that puts out preliminary reports and stuff like that. Someone might know, the transportation, whatever agency. But anyway, it's pretty clear. K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX, Richard, thanks with that. And for ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go to Tacoma to Wade, WC WW7ATS. We seem to have lost Wade's image off the streaming video. So let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, I think Wade said that he'd be back closer to 9. He's got something going on now. Let's see. Well, Ron, I don't know. I have trouble hearing. It seems to me you hear pretty good if you can hear your wife there in the next room. I'll tell you what, my hearing kind of went downhill being in these noisy airplanes for a while. But I gotta say, they get quieter every year. So, I don't know. Just curious, I'll bet that tape you're talking about is called Alien Tape. I saw that advertised. Yeah, that's okay. I saw that advertised. I thought, yeah, maybe I should buy some of that. But I don't have an immediate need for it, so I didn't buy it yet. Bird movies. Yeah, that's great. I remember you said something about getting a senior discount somewhere. Well, I don't remember which theater it is. I think it's AMC. They offer senior discounts on Tuesdays. I don't know, maybe you can, I don't know what their requirements are. I know you're a young fellow actually, but you may be able to pass yourself off as an older person. I don't know, just a thought. And computer, Intel NUC. Yeah, that looks interesting. I'm going to have to investigate that. I ought to get some kind of computer for the shack here, but it hasn't been high on the priority list. Bob, thanks for the container. Thanks for showing us that picture. I assume it's supposed to stand vertically. So, no. Okay. Well, anyway, let me reset. And, Dick, 3 snowmen, a destroyed house. I'm curious, I did not get to see those pictures. The house in particular, was that anywhere close to you? Yeah? Oh, boy. Okay, good, thank you. Curious if it was destroyed by wind or if maybe squashed by a tree or something. Big wind, okay. So yeah, lost you this morning. My internet here at the house was intermittent this morning, but fortunately it seems to be much better now. I guess it just needed a rest or something. I don't know. Maybe all my neighbors were playing video games this morning and it cut my speed dramatically or something. I don't know. I didn't bother testing the speed. It's either going to work or it's not. But anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WU7N in Bellevue.
Lee, let me know, because last time I had to get out so Lee could get in, and then I got back in again. So I haven't seen Lee yet, so I haven't done that. Ron, I'll give you a good help desk answer to your question. You asked, you said you didn't know how big of a piece of tape was required to hold 17 pounds. The answer is a slightly smaller piece than for 18 pounds, but a little bit bigger piece than for 16 pounds. That's the size you need. Thank you. Anyway, that's the help desk answer to your question. Bert, that looks really cool. I actually looked it up briefly. It looks like there's a whole series of those computers, which oddly, how much you pay depends on how much memory you get and other minor trivial details like that. That does sound, that looks very neat. I got a Raspberry Pi in the middle, I think it was just after COVID started. And I have to tell you, I haven't done a whole lot with it. I think I made an LED flash or something, and I need to get back to that and do something useful with it, turn it into something that I can use. But yes, your movie tickets, they depend that you'll forget about that and not go twice a month. That's what they're depending on. So we'll remind you every month to make sure you catch at least 2 movies every month. Bob, the one picture we obviously forgot to take was one of us needed to get into the box and just have our arm hanging out and then get a picture of that, maybe with the lid partially closed on it. We can still do that next time. And then email us using an anonymous account to Rich. And ask him, just straight up, honestly, like, we found this in there and we don't know who's claiming that. He has a sense of humor. Okay, Jim, okay, your discount on Tuesday, I don't know if you read the fine print on that, but the theater's actually closed. So the senior discount day, you have to be able to break into the theater, start the theater thing up, the movie machine up and all that stuff. That's how that discount used to work. I don't know if it's different now or not. Well, anyway, I guess I'm almost at the end of my 3 minutes, so I will put it back to Dave over in Seattle, who's our net control tonight. WW7ATS coming on an Echo link. Go ahead,
WW7M, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Seattle, Lake City area. Oh my, it's been a chilly day with snow, rain. At this point, most of the snow is gone due to rain and the warmer weather that we've had today. I've got 35 degrees here in the shack. Outside, inside it's a little bit warmer. But anyway, it's been a great day. Had an interesting thing with Zoom. When I went to sign on this morning, it did an upgrade. And I said, okay. And I didn't even have to say okay, it just went through an upgrade. And then when I tried to sign on with the group, couldn't hear audio. I couldn't understand that, so I rebooted the computer twice. Still no audio. So I went to a secondary computer and continued on, but after the meeting this morning, I went back to my main computer and then brought up the diagnostics on Zoom. And I went through and I checked audio, and there was no audio. Video was there. So I remember a long time ago I had some problems with some connections of getting audio and video together on the computer. So I pulled the USB cable on the camera and audio and plugged it back in, ran the diagnostics, and I had audio again. So go figure, I don't know what happened with the upgrade. It also asked for me to re-sign on with Zoom. I had to use my email address and my password to get into it. And so anyway, it's up and running on my other computer now, so at least I have that, but I'm on my secondary computer in the shack. This is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's go up to the top of the list to Ron, KD7QKU.
Thanks again, Dave, and hello again to the group. KD7QKU here. Well, I was trying to order that soundbar on Amazon and for the TV, and I was having a little trouble. Usually when you order something, it sends you an email almost instantly, but it didn't seem to do that. And then it suddenly dawned on me, I have my computer on, I have my tablet on, and I have 4 TVs running on Fire Stick, and I have the slowest internet that I can buy. So once upon a time, I had 20, and they automatically upgraded me to 60 or something. And I called them, and they also increased the price. No, I said, I don't need that. I want the cheap one I have. So they put me back down. I think it's 20 megabytes or gigabytes or whatever it is. But it's amazing that it runs all this stuff. And the TVs, 3 of the TVs are looking at movies. and it's just, it's kind of amazing. But let's see, what else? I told you I put up the lights, and I'm not sure what Bert bought. I think he bought a hard drive. Is that what you bought, Bert? Was a exterior hard drive? So I'm not sure. And today I talked about attenuators. If I got that amplifier from Gary, and I did look, it looks like I could get one of 5 dB, which is I guess what we figured out I needed. So it says 25 watt. So I would imagine that it can handle 25 watts, and it would be handling maybe, the transmitter says 20, but it's probably more like 16. Some of them say 10 watts. I would imagine that's the power in. And yeah, Bob's nodding up down. So I'd have to buy the 25 watt one, I think, 5 dB and attenuation. Looked like it would be about $33, and it'd have end connectors on both ends. So if for some reason I and Gary get together and I do get that, I guess I would probably have to buy that attenuator. Then I'd see if my signal was any better. Yeah, hopefully it would be. Let's see. I kind of thought maybe Armando was going to come over today. My trees on the east side, there's about, I don't know how many of them, 20 of them or something. They're dying. They're in a swamp. And I wanted Armando to put in a French drain, and he has to dig under the sidewalk and rotor through the curb so it can drain in the gutter out there. That's the way most of my downspouts do. And most of the downspouts in the neighborhood, they go out to the curb and drain through the drain in the street. It's kind of unusual, but that's the way it's set up here, it looks like. So he didn't show up today. I think he missed a good opportunity because Dave made it sound like it was bad in his neighborhood. It was a little fresh snow this morning, maybe an inch, but the road was wet and the driveway was wet. And then we had sun all day. In fact, I put off putting the lights in the living room window because it was just too hot. So I waited till about 3:30, 4 o'clock when the sun was kind of behind the neighbor's house and tree, and then I could put the lights up. Alright, I guess that's enough of that. Just back to net, I guess, KD7QKU.
Time again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. At the 08 machine, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Bert in Marysville, N7CS.
Okay, well, let's see. So one thing just while I'm noticing, when Bob switched in his picture earlier, it actually looked very sharp on the YouTube stream compared to what we're getting out of Richard's grand stream. So we may want to double check whatever resolution that Richard is outputting on his grand stream, because it's like if you look on the YouTube stream where at the bottom left where it has like the date and time and Richard's call sign, I noticed that when Bob switched in, I could read his indicator on the left-hand side much more sharply. So we might want to compare what resolution Bob's using versus Richard's, because there might be an area opportunity to improve the picture quality there. Let's see what else we have going on. So here's one of the other gadgets I bought from Black Friday. This is a sound, I guess, like a sound modem or sound card modem made by another ham. It's basically real simple. It's got like a radio jack on one side, then a USB port on the other side. If you use this with a compatible radio, like the new Yaesu FTM 6000R that has a data jack on it, you're able to do packet radio at 9600 baud instead of 1200. And also you can use the new like VAR or VAR, I don't know how you say it, FM wide mode that will let you do like 25 kilobits per second. So I ordered one of those radios too on Black Friday, but it's in back-ordered land right now, so I don't know, I'll get it in between, a week and a year, I guess, however long it takes. But let's see, Raspberry Pi, I've got a couple of those lying around somewhere. Oh wait, let it run for a second. The reason I wanted you to connect this stuff in VARA is so that I can do some WinLink, and while you might be able to do it up high if you run some kind of like Windows emulator, it's a lot easier to do Windows computers. So I usually use like Linux and Mac for everything, so the reason I got that small computer was so I could run Windows for WinLink, or easily without having to do like a wine emulation or whatever. And then, let's see, Ron was talking about getting a soundbar. I bought a soundbar a couple years back, and I was so frustrated with it, I ended up taking it back. And I usually never take anything back. I usually just put it in the corner, and then it gets buried under stuff, and I never find it again. But I was so frustrated with that soundbar, it just would never work exactly the way I want to. I actually took it back, which is very, very rare for me. So hopefully, Ron, you have much better luck with your soundbar. But anyway, this is Bert and Maxwell, and MCS, back to it.
MCS, let's go to Bob Bob, K9PQ.
Had to get the video switched in there. So Jim, yeah, the container. What that is it's a plastic deck storage box, and the plastic is decent quality. I'm not sure I'd even want to sit on it. It's not that good quality, but it's good enough it's not going to just fall apart. And it's just sitting on the floor and just has stuff in it, so it doesn't really have to hold a lot of weight or be super strong, but it's strong enough. The reason why we went with that was basically money. The ideal thing would have been about $1,000, and that was a cabinet of the quality of the filing cabinets, professional quality, but with the big two doors that open up and have shelves and everything. That's about $1,000, and you just don't find them used like you do the filing cabinets because everybody wants those. The other big difference was plastic versus metal. You could get metal vertical cabinets that looked kind of like the $1,000 ones for about $400 or even $350, maybe $300, but they usually arrived damaged. They were such thin metal, so poor quality, that they'd be damaged by the time you got them delivered. They just would never hold up. So this thing was a compromise, but it's quite cheap and will serve our purpose. So there you go. Bert, I have a similar tiny computer like that, but it's a few years old. And I use Windows for everything at home. I have Linux on a computer or two, but I use it professionally. I use it at work, but I don't use it at home. I just don't have any real use for it. That's interesting about the picture quality. Richard, we can after that maybe play around with that and see what we find out. So that's it for here. Back to that, K9PQ.
K9PQ. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Video back, and I think we may have been successful here as we discombobulated a couple things and started up my video for it's hard to believe, but this happened. I'm talking kind of in a way to Jim Shade, or Covington Jim, because he hadn't seen this, and I don't know if Bert did either, but anyway, this happened in Kent, the same day that Covington Jim's power went out. The timing, and I remember mentioning to you that I saw a lot of fire trucks and the road blocked on 132nd right between 256 and what appeared to be Kangley. 132nd is the highway that runs between Highway 18 and Maple Valley Highway, and it's the 132nd is the one that goes past the entrance to the Meridian close to where I'm talking about, and this is a shortcut. This is a house on a shortcut. And so I was shocked when it's only about a mile and a half from my house, so it was pretty weird. So anyway, so that's what I was talking about earlier, and so let me get to the other thing I wanted to mention. Now, don't get the idea that I'm into damage and crashes and stuff like that. I mean, this was on the side of the road, and then as far as the tragedy in Dallas with the vintage fighter plane crashing into the vintage historic plane, well, that's where I'm coming from, is the fact that I'm really into vintage things, and so it really bothered me that at an air show of all things, in front of a crowd of people, that this could happen. Two main things that I found out in hearing about the report from the preliminary report from the experts is, number one, an area of deconfliction was never established. In other words, generally speaking, I think at an air show, when you got different types of aircraft going at different speeds and they're in formation, they like to have them flying, of course, together like the whole idea is to entertain the crowd, but they like these different speeds of aircraft at different elevations from each other, so that in the event of an error of some sort, there's less chance that they'll touch each other, because and usually that difference in elevation can be 3 to maybe even 500 feet, probably 500 feet. And so that's the other part. One, they didn't have this difference in altitude. They did not establish an area of deconfliction between the slower flying bombers and the faster flying fighter jets, fighter planes. Number two, probably the worst thing of them all, was the slower planes, the slower bombers, had a line that they were not allowed to cross, and they call it the 500-foot line, and that's basically as they fly in front of the crowd, they're never ever supposed to get past this 500-foot line. Now, not that it's 500 foot from the crowd, but it's 500 foot from where you're not supposed to fly. So anyway, the 500-foot line is there. Bombers know not to go too close beyond that. But then there's the 1,000-foot line, and that's the fighters know that they're not supposed to go there. And when I mean go beyond that, I mean go to the outside of what we can imagine the plane circling around. So now you got 2 lanes established. Flying bombers are in the lane that's between the 500 and 1,000-foot line, and the faster flying fighters are beyond the 1,000-foot line. So they're definitely separate now, until as they approach the crowd in a inside turning where they're banking, which would force the fighters to bank with their belly towards the lane where the bombers are. I can't believe this, but the air boss told and this was not part of the pre-flight meeting the day before, the air boss ordered the fighters to switch lanes with the bombers. They ordered a switching of the 2 lanes right as they were turning, forcing the fighters. They couldn't see the bombers if they wanted to. So that's it. in a nutshell. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's about as simple from no one that knows what he's talking about. I think makes it sound pretty sad, and I'm afraid people are starting to wonder how much experience the air boss calling the shots from the ground, because, you know, all the pilots had to do what he ordered them to do. K7ITX back to net control.
9TX, thanks for that. Well, let's move on to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dick, I don't know, I thought the show was supposed to be well rehearsed and everyone knew what they were supposed to do. But I don't know, it does seem to me that the aircraft should have been at different altitudes, different speed aircraft, different altitudes, and that didn't happen. And I saw a video which showed that one fellow did not follow the same ground track as the two fighters ahead of him. I did not get the word about them switching, the air boss switching tracks. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, that fellow definitely tried to tighten up his turn and consequently lost visibility with the aircraft which he struck. And I don't know, air shows are risky. Flying is at least from an airline perspective, it's a fault-tolerant system, largely. Things can go wrong, and generally it takes a number of things to go wrong before you have an accident. And although several things certainly may have gone wrong here, the margin for error is reduced when you're doing an air show. I know of several people who were killed in air shows. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Dick, thanks for the picture of that house. Holy cow. It's never good when they throw a blue tarp on the roof. That's, let me reset. Ron, I remember that amplifier type, they sell two different input power capabilities. I don't remember what they are. I think one of them is 10 watts and maybe the other is 1 watt, but I'm not real sure. But the difference between them, the difference between them essentially is an input resistor internal to the amplifier, if I'm not mistaken. And so if we can figure out what those are, you could probably just replace the internal resistor or internal attenuator, if you will, on the amplifier itself, and that'll probably cost, I don't know, $5 or something. It'll probably cost more than postage to get the component to you, but that's a possible alternative worth investigating. The attenuators will certainly work, though. And I guess that's enough for now. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, time for ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net from the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go on to Jim, N7, no, we just had Jim, N7Q. Go to James, WU7N.
Thank you, Dave. Well, I learned something today because I thought a little bit about this. And a lot of attenuators, or at least attenuators I use in the lab, were for actually lower frequencies, but they were just little blocks of carbon mounted inside the connectors. But I don't think that's the case with the kind of attenuators you're using, because the lead was very specific about you had to put the input in one side and the output going out another, which means there must be something in there like a semiconductor or something that requires a specific direction of flow. Of course, you know, if we lived in a perfect world, since the attenuator attenuates, shouldn't they pay you to take one? Because all you're doing is turning RF into heat, right? So we pay for amplifiers. Shouldn't they pay you if you're going the other direction? But the world doesn't work that way, does it? Let's see. The other handy tip I have for everyone is on Sunday, if you participate in the ATM Aries Races check-in test, whatever you do, apparently they prefer you to use the Tiger Mountain machine, because I didn't change my back and I suddenly got questions about what machine I was using. And I guess that's because it sets the IDEA off. It just makes more IDEA time. Let's see, first, the sound bar must have been personal. I've never heard of you returning anything before. I'm not terribly clear. I guess the sound bar is like a speaker system. Is that what it is? Yeah, okay, I see a nodded head, because I've not heard of this. But then again, you know, I'm still using ancient technology around here. I had a set of headphones a friend gave me, and I took them off, and they broke. And I was trying to figure out all these ways to fix the plastic, and I think I actually can. But then I looked, and the modern day replacement is about $25 for replacement. So much to help time and energy to repair the old ones or just buy a new set. In the meantime, I'll use these, which somebody gave me, I think, for free on an airline or something. So, you know, it's just amazing how things change. Yeah, one other thing. Testing? Okay. I was going to say, regarding the air show disaster in Dallas, that's got to be one of the most videoed air show disasters ever. There were so many different angles on that. Everybody had their cameras up taking pictures of that giant magnificent bomber flying by, and then the little air Cobra crashing into it. And it was just painful for me to watch one angle in particular, because you could see the giant blind spot that the fighter had, and then there was no way the bomber could see the guy coming in on him either. And that fundamental flaw in visibility, post-World War II, had a huge change in how those aircraft were designed. If you look at like an A-10, the cockpit sits way out in front of the wing. And you have this big bubble cockpit, and that's so you can see things happening in all directions, except right beneath your feet, and I think they even have a fix for that now. Which, being a video club, you can probably figure out what that is. So, anyway, this is James, WW7ATS in Bellevue, Washington. I'll turn it back to Dave, 87CYM on net control.
This is Dave, 87CYM in Lake City. Oh my, it's kind of interesting about air shows. When you think of the Blue Angels show with them moving back and forth at all kinds of altitudes and speeds, that they never have, well, they have had a couple of disasters, but they seem to do pretty good with their routines that they do during the shows. And Bob's Coffin looks great there. I just wonder if it's like the wonderful chest that they had coming over on the Mayflower and those big ships. They had the dome-type top, so nobody could stick something on top of the chest. So it would protect the contents inside. So I don't know. If you put that up against a wall, somebody might want to pile stuff on top of it. Who knows? But that's kind of interesting. And Ron with a sound bar, that sounds great. And then Ron with his PC electronics transmitter. If you look up at the schematic with that, there is a pot inside that you can turn down on the transmitter itself that lowers the transmission wattage output. But it's a combination of that and color pot that you have to have. So you almost have to transmitter out to your antenna, and a lot of them have a dB loss per 100 feet. It's calculated for the particular type of cable that you're using, and then you can figure out mathematically how much cable you needed to reduce down the amount to get that 5 watts out of your transmitter. Just an idea. But this is Dave, KD7 CYM in Lake City. So I'll send it back to Ron, KD7 QKU.
Well, I like to keep things tidy. I would hate to have 100 feet of coax coiled up in the bedroom there between the transmitter and the amplifier. I guess that's what you'd have to do to use coax. So I think the attenuator, they're just small. They'll put it on the back of the transmitter and run it over to the amplifier. Now, I haven't got it from here yet, and he didn't even give me a price. And he said he'd get back to me, and he hasn't got back to me, so who knows? This may never happen. So anyway, it's pure speculation right now. So let's see what else is going on. I did watch that soccer game this morning with the United States and the Netherlands. Of course, as everybody probably knows now, the United States lost. It was kind of too bad. There was, the young man from Mercer Island, number 16. He was in the game at the end. I didn't see him in the game earlier than that. Soccer is a hard game for me to watch. It goes on and on and on and on. Seems like nothing ever happens, and then in the last, 10 minutes, everybody gets excited and they start trying real hard to score some points. I had the Kraken ice hockey game on here when I started the net, and they won 7 straight games. Tonight would be their 8th, but they were scored on. Let's see, I can't see the score, but Dave said he had 34 degrees or something. I have 38 degrees right now, so it's warmer over here than it was at his house. So let's see, I don't have too much more. I just enjoy listening and see what everybody else is up to. Too bad about those airplanes that crashed. I guess I saw that on TV, but I didn't pay too much attention to it after that. But anyway, it sounds like the ground controller, whatever you call him, he made a big mistake when he had him change. That's too bad. Human error, I guess you'd call that. All right, back to that, KD7 QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Marysville to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, let's see if I'm able to share my screen here. Okay, I think this might work. Okay, hopefully everybody can see my screen. So there's this, if you haven't heard about it, there's a new chatbot that you can use on the internet that you can ask it any kind of questions, and it will try its best to give you the right answer. So I figured let's try to ask it about amateur radio, and I was asking it some of the questions we've been talking about. So first I asked it, does it know anything about amateur radio? It tells me a little bit of stuff. I ask it what its favorite band is. It tells me, hey, I don't have favorites, so whatever. So a little disappointed in that. Then I asked the question Ron had about, hey, I'm outputting 60 watts, but I need to only want a maximum input of 5 watts. And what size attenuator should I use? It didn't really do a good job on this one. It kind of spit out some stuff, consult their technician manual or whatever. So no, that wasn't very good. But then I asked it, okay, well, what's 16 watts in dBm? And it gives me the formula, and it calculates it for me. It goes the other way around too, 35 dBm to watts. It figured that out. Asked how far can a 2-meter amateur radio signal travel. It tells me some stuff that sounds it can go 30, 100 miles per hour on terrain. Usually it depends on the conditions. Ask it, okay, what kind of connector is better for water protection? It gives me a whole lot of info, and it does correctly tell me that end connectors are better. And then it throws in some stuff about BNC that I didn't ask about, but it's still pretty good. I asked if it was legal to transmit on 900 megahertz. It gives me some stuff here, basically giving me the answer here. Asked about TNCs for packet radio. It gives me a bunch of answers here. multiple radios. Now, I don't know if these are right or not. I didn't think a Bofang could do it, but we'll let it drop for a second. I asked, like, what's the maximum power amateur radios can transmit with that actually gives me all the details, like 1500 watts or with all the different exceptions and stuff. Asking about the line loss for like 100-foot LMR 400 at 1.2 gigahertz, that actually tells me about it, and then runs the calculation and tells me it's 3.3 dBs. And yeah, I kind of gave up at that point because it was getting a lot of stuff actually. I mean, a few things it kind of didn't do a great job on, but yeah, scarily good. But so anyway, that's I guess this nice lesson of the AI is getting ready to take over. So I'll turn it back. This is Bert and Rachel and 7CS back to that.
Go ahead to computerism. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us. Well, let's move on down to Bob K9PQ.
Let me get my video switched in here. I didn't get that set up ahead of time. And there we go. Yeah, I have a few notes. James talking about we should be getting money back for all that reverse amplification going on. I have another idea. How about a green attenuator? Instead of creating heat, it recharges the battery. We can have regenerative attenuation. And as far as attenuators, what I understood Lee to say was that some of them are directional, not all of them. So, but yeah, I'm kind of curious about that myself. How some of them are are directional and why. I was thinking about what you were talking about with blind spots on airplanes, and with camera technology today, with cars having backup cameras, why not plaster, cameras all over every side of the airplane so you can have a view of every angle from the cockpit? I don't know how well that would work, but that's a possibility, at least for ones in air shows or close quarters and things like that. That was really interesting about the dome top, Dave. I've never knew that. I think that's really cool, and I'm trying to think of something to do with ours so that people won't set stuff on it. It'll hold a moderate amount of weight. It's not fragile. I wouldn't stand on it. That's for sure. But maybe we can put a big sticker on it saying "Do not stack anything here," which will be fine until the first person stacks something on the sticker, and then you never see it again. And finally, Ron, soccer. Yeah, the trying hard at the end. I see that in American football as well. I mean, you see the 2-minute drill, and all of a sudden they go crazy. And I used to think, well, why don't they just do the 2-minute drill for the entire game? But I guess it's too risky, and you wear everybody out. It just isn't workable. Okay, I'll send it back. K9PQ.
Thank you. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Canton.
I get myself switched in. Okay. Now, nice to see Wade lurking in the background, so that's a good thing. Alright, and so let's see here. There we go. I'm in with the 3 snowmen. Papa Snowman, Mama Snowman, and Baby Snowman. K7ITX, back to net control.
Thanks with that. And you mentioned Wade is with us, so let's go to W7ITL in Tacoma.
I switched myself in, but my little HT has enough power to transmit on the changer, so I'm just coming over Zoom tonight. Don't want a lot to say tonight. I didn't get to hear much of the reports tonight, but just say happy every day, and it's nice seeing everybody. I don't know, we only have like 5 more minutes, but like I said, it's nice to see everybody. W7ATS back to net.
ITL, let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Dick, thanks for the snowman family. Is that in your yard? Did you make those? Are they a neighbor's? Can't quite lip read that. Anyway, thanks for that. Let's see here. Bob, regenerative attenuator. Isn't that what maybe the Prius, does? There's some kind of electric car that when you step on the brakes, it recharges the battery. I thought that was interesting. And let's see. For Jim and Bert, talking about movies and what it takes to make a profit, my guess is that the theaters just want you to show up. They figure they'll make a bundle on popcorn and soft drinks. At least that's what I'm thinking. Because they're going to show the movie anyway, right? So the more people show up, the more popcorn they sell. That's my thought. And let's see, there was something else I wanted to mention here. Can't read my writing. I guess that's it. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, well, let's go to James, WU7N for a final.
Yes, I'd like the address, because I tried openai.com/chat, and I got, it's chat.openai.com. Okay, that's what I was looking at. Okay, yeah, because it looks like the help desk has been replaced by an AI bot, and the answers are almost as useful. But I proved their efforts in research. You know what they say about soccer? Most people just watch the kick. My snowman story is someone built a snowman, and someone else came along in the Christmas spirit in their four-wheel drive and was going to drive up on their lawn and smash it over with their four-wheel drive pickup truck. And it turned out the guy had built the snowman to conserve snow, because it was a relatively light snow, around this giant stump. So that didn't go well. So anyway, well, that's it. I see we're just about out of time, so when we turn it back to Dave with Western Washington Amateur Television Society, my name is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
7N, thanks for that. And we wrap up the net by thanking the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our audio transmissions for our nets for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.